Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Chamunatira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata Radha, Radha Nata Radha, Radha Nata Shri Radha. Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaura Premanande, Haribo. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So please forgive me for a little bit of a husky, raspy voice. It is the fault of your Rath Yatra. We're blaming Rath Yatra. Today we're discussing Lord Chaitanya as the gardener. So we'll be hearing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila chapter 9. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. You all look very tired, but maybe not. Anyway, Rath Yatra is like that. There's still Monday procession. So if you thought you were tired from yesterday, there's today, there's tomorrow, and then there's Monday. So it's a marathon, but it is a transcendental marathon. It is tapodivyam, divine austerity. This austerity is what gives us the nectar for which we are always anxious. So many other austerities are there, and all they give you is just foam in the mouth, tired, angry, frustrated. This type of tapasya gets us closer to Krishna. So this is the 9th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. It is entitled The Desire Tree of Devotional Service. We will read text 29. Mageva namage kea patra va apatra. Ihara vichara nahi jane deya matra. Please repeat. Mage begs. Va o na not. Mage begs. Keha anyone. Patra candidate. Va or a patra, not a candidate, ihara, of this vichar, consideration, nahi, does not, jane, no, deya, gives, matra, only. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Not considering who asked for it and who did not, nor who was fit and who was unfit to receive it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the fruit of devotional service. Please repeat. Not considering who asked for it and who did not, nor who was fit and who unfit to receive it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the fruit of devotional service. Purport. This is the sum and substance of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. There is no distinction made between those who are fit and those who are not fit to hear or take part in the Sankirtan movement. It should therefore be preached without discrimination. The only purpose of the preachers of the Sankirtan movement must be to go on preaching without restriction. That is the way in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the Sankirtan movement to the world. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This particular chapter, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he describes the Sankirtan movement, the movement of Lord Chaitanya, using figurative speech. He likens the Sankirtan movement to be a tree of devotional service. So for a tree to exist, there must be a seed, and somebody must plant that seed. So it is expressed here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, desiring to benefit humanity, he descended into this world with the seed of pure devotional service. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different from Krishna. So Krishna had come and he had preached Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavad Gita, he had given many instructions to elevate any and anyone and everyone from any position in life. Kama Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, ultimately Bhakti Yoga. And then he insisted on surrender. Savadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam savapapebhyo mokshaisyami masuja. Although the Lord gave the seed of fearlessness, just surrender to me, don't worry, don't fear. I'll take care of whatever is coming to get you, because we've acted in the past. And so the past activities have manifested this particular body and the circumstances we find ourselves in. But the Lord said, don't worry about that. Even if you're the lowest, the most sinful among sinners, if you situate yourself on the transcendental boat of transcendental knowledge, then you will cross over. However, Krishna noticed that not many were able to apply his teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna certainly received it and said, my illusion is dispelled, My memory is clear, and now I shall act according to your direction, Krishna. So his example was not enough to really inspire people to practically live the teaching. So the Lord came, and he brought this seed of pure devotional service. He appeared in Navadvip under the neem tree. It was called Nimai. And there in Navadvip, he planted this transcendental seed of love of God. It is said that before the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the particular flavor of Vraja Prema was not seen. Madhvacharya had preached, defeated Mayavad, but he established many rituals and forms of worship and only revealed Vaikuntha. And when Madhavendra Puri appeared, from him this particular favor of Madhurya Rasa was exhibited. It is said when Madhavendra Puri was leaving his body, he had disciples, big guru. Some of his disciples, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu. So he was an invalid in his old age. He couldn't do much for himself. And he had a disciple by the name of Ishwara Puri. He also had another disciple by the name of Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri had a different attitude from Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri was faithfully encouraging his spiritual master by singing relevant bhajans, reading scripture, reminding him of Krishna. He was offering menial service, cleaning up after the spiritual master. And because of this service, Madhavendra Puri gave his blessing unto him. So we hear that Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavat Prasadat, Yasat Prasadat, Nagati Kutopi. We sing. Chakravarti Pad has explained. When one pleases the spiritual master, only by this pleasure of the spiritual master can one receive the mercy of Krishna. So Ishwara Puri was blessed that eventually he had Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his disciple. Ramachandra Puri, however, because of bad association, he had become a bit of a dry devotee, a bit of an impersonalist devotee. That when his spiritual master was on his deathbed and he was lamenting on the transcendental platform, shedding tears, he chanted, Aidina Dayatra Natahe, Maturanata Kadavalakshaye, that I have not been fortunate to attain Krishna. I have not been fortunate to attain Mathura. Ramachandra Puri heard that. He thought Guru Maharaj is losing the plot. So he thought to instruct him that Guru Maharaj, you're supposed to remember Krishna now. Remember Brahman. Why are you lamenting that you have not attained Mathura? And Madhavendra Puri said, you rascal, get out of here. I don't want to see your face. So there we are learning not to become so puffed up, to think that we can extract the spiritual master. It happens that sometimes disciples, because we get the favor of the spiritual master, maybe we come a little closer, then we start to see the spiritual master with mundane vision. Oh, this man, maybe he's a little advanced than me, but I mean, I see he makes so many mistakes. Yeah, he forgets certain things. Sometimes he doesn't know where his quota is. I have to take care of him. So then we think that we may actually tell the spiritual master what to do. So this is an offense. And for that offense, he became very offensive. He's famous for inviting devotees for prasadam. So that's very nice, right? Prasadam 8:30. Remind me so that we don't go over. And he would feed them. They would say, no, I've had enough. He'd say, take more. No, enough. Take. And so after they took more than they wanted because of his insisting, then he would say, I see. These followers of Mahaprabhu, they overeat. It's supposed to be renounced, but you're overeating. Later on, he came to Mahaprabhu's place and he saw ants crawling on the floor. And he immediately said, it's supposed to be sannyasi, but it seems that you're keeping sweets and eating sweets here. That's why all these ants are here. So offending the devotees, ultimately even the Lord becomes part of our targets for offense. So Madhavendra Puri, from him, this tree started to sprout. From that seed, it sprouted in Madhavendra Puri. Ishwara Puri demonstrated further this gift of transcendental pure love of God. And it is said that Mahaprabhu is that gardener. And that tree, the trunk of the tree, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And from that seedling, 2 branches are growing. These 2 branches are Lord Nityananda on one side, the other side is Shri Advaita Acharya. The roots of this tree, Jai Shri Radharana Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki. It is said there were 9 main roots, these 9 main sannyasis around Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the middle root was Paramananda Puri. Paramananda Puri is also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He said 2 disciples got the greatest mercy of Madhavendra Puri. It was Ishwara Puri and Paramananda Puri. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always kept Paramananda Puri around him. It is said the first time he met him, he said, oh, my eyes, my mind, my activities, they've all met perfection just by getting your darshan. And because of his regard of Paramananda Puri, the Lord, he said, by seeing you, I am seeing Madhavendra Puri. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu surrounded himself with these associates who were the roots of this tree. Sarup Damodar Goswami is also another one of those roots that anchored this tree. So this tree is a transcendental tree. It is a spiritual tree. It is all-pervading. Lord Chaitanya's plan, as we read here, is that he wants to give love of God to everyone. Anyone who's in the material world has come because of some material desire. Therefore, it's a fallen condition. Of course, the Nitya Siddhas, they come here to preach, but they don't consider themselves as pure devotees. They consider themselves fallen. Kaviraj Goswami says, I am so fallen, I am worse than the stool of the worm who resides in stew. So it is not just beautiful language for the sake of poetry, but it is actually how he's feeling. So Ishwara Puri, he also lived in a place called Kamarahata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and he picked up dust from that place and he kept it, and every day he used to take a little bit of that dust. That still today devotees go to Kamarahata and they take dust and they eat that dust. So these are transcendental people. This tree is also transcendental. It is inundating the whole universe. And Mahaprabhu says, I don't care who you are. I don't care what your past is. As we know, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So the future that the Lord desires for us is this love of Godhead. Because of ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, They were always shedding tears of love. And he said because of this, they were not discriminating whom they offered this love of God. They first tasted it by performing kirtan as we were doing. What a blissful process. One mantra for life. But it never ceases to amaze us. Even when we go there tired, somehow or the other, if we chant and we dance with the devotees, we become inspired. Just last night at the Rath Yatra, there was some final kirtan. And the devotees were thinking, we're finished. No voice. Anyway, let's just go and let's see what happens. And kirtan started going. Harinamananda Prabhu, we thought he would make it short, but as he sang more and more, you could see that he's becoming more and more enlivened. On the Dolak, Nitai Pada Kamala Prabhu was thinking, I'm definitely not going to go crazy. But by the strength of the transcendental influence of the holy name, we get energy, life. We transcend the body, we forget the body. And the kirtan really just kept on going. So this is the gift. And that's what the Panchatattva did. They chanted and tasted the nectar of the holy name. And then they flooded the whole place. And some people were fleeing. Just like we were on that main stage. Of course, there's lights in our faces. But if you duck down a bit and you check, in that whole tent, there was maybe like a 20th of the people who were there prior. So the essence in Kali Yuga sometimes is taken for tragedy. Yeah, we've sung this song. We sang it today, sang it last week. And that it's not so appreciated, even by those who chant regularly. Until they contact Krishna, then they are reminded. Who's had that experience? When we're being invited to come out on Harinam, and you're thinking, should I go, should I not? And by the transcendental peer pressure of the devotees, they drag you, come, Prabhu, come. And then after the Harinam, everyone is thinking, that was so ecstatic. And you're thinking, I was thinking not to come. What a rascal, what a nonsense. So therefore, constant chanting day by day fixes the soul in the understanding of the actual shelter and pleasure of chanting the holy name. So those who were fleeing, Panchatattva were grabbing them and drowning them. They were thinking, save us, we're drowning from this love of God. Wait, we will save you. And they'll swim across. When they grab them, instead of saving them, they drown them even more. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Sankirtan movement should be preached everywhere without restriction. Many things people may not accept because of their cultural orientation. Maybe when they see us, they may think, I don't aspire to look like them, sort of fashion-wise maybe. Others, when they see us, they think, these guys are different. They must know something that everyone else maybe doesn't know. Maybe let me go find out what they have to say. Others, when they hear the holy name, or they hear the drums, the cymbals, they are attracted. The holy name can enter into any society. We are fortunate that sometimes we are traveling different parts of the world and chanting this holy name on the streets. And there you get to see time and time again that any individual from whatever part of the world, the sound of the Maha Mantra is always somewhat attractive. The Sankirtan movement. Sometimes people are sitting at restaurants And we may think, oh, they're fallen, or they're eating this and the other. But even in the middle of eating whatever isn't meant to be eaten, a smile breaks out. Or when we call them to chant Hare Krishna, they respond. So it is our duty. In fact, it is the blessing that Mahaprabhu has given upon us to be his ambassadors, to share this holy name. This is the most practical, easiest way, ecstatic way to connect people to Krishna. So that is the business of the members of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. This tree of love of God has many branches. Nityananda, Advaita, and then so many other branches of Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada writes that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is one of those branches. Ahindra Prabhu, he said, if the Hare Krishna movement doesn't get its act together to spread the holy name, don't think that Lord Chaitanya won't arrange for others to do it. There are many branches of this transcendental tree, and Lord Chaitanya can empower anyone. And so if we think, oh, we are like, we've got copyright on the Maha Mantra, and if we don't go out, anyway, the karmis, they'll sort themselves out. And we think, only we can do it. No. The Lord is sitting in the heart of every living being. And he can inspire anyone from anywhere. But like Arjuna, Krishna told him, Nimitra matra bhava Savyasaci. He told, get up and fight and get the glory. I have already killed everyone by my arrangement. So it is the Lord who is the seed of love of God. He is the trunk of the tree of love of God. He is the fruit of love of God. And he is also distributing. We are simply meant to be instruments in his distribution program. Now when we think that we are actually doing this, it is said, Ankara vimudatma. We become embarrassed by our false ego, thinking that, oh, I'm not going to go and chant the holy name. Now we had one devotee, blessed with a good voice, and he could play, the accordion. But it was always a game of how well we could stroke his ego. Like you have to start working 3-4 hours before Harinam, like to make sure he's in the right mood, Prabhuji, everything okay, like later we're gonna go. You kind of inspire him what route we'll take and what crowds will be there. Reminded me of the kid that when he didn't score or when he lost, he'll take the ball and run away, Then the game is over. So he felt it was dependent on him. And yes, we understood, when he's there and he's in a good mood, fantastic. But we tell him, Prabhuji, don't rely so much on your singing and your playing. And if you don't use this fully to serve Krishna, another deity will come who will demand your service. And sure enough, he got some Ishta Devi for him to serve. So there was no more Harinam. Definitely no Ananda. Well, maybe another type of Ananda, only he knows. We must ask him. So it is a privilege, it is an honor to be engaged as an agent of this distribution program. And we are not the doer. If we think we are the doer, then we are just puffed up. And sooner or later, by this false ego, we will crash and burn. We will lose the opportunity. So the gardener, the seed, the trunk, the branches, the fruit. So the fruit is very tasty. Very tasty. love of God is filled with varieties of mellows. Krishna is said to be Rasamrita Murti. He is the Murti full of all nectarian mellows, like a gulab jamun. Everywhere juice, wherever you bite, only ras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is said to be Ananda Leela Vigrahaya. His Vigraha, his form, is the form of ecstatic pastimes. So we're starving in the material world, engaged in our rascal leelas, only getting rascal reciprocation from material energy. She advertises very well. Come here. Come. You will enjoy. Oh, yes. You dress up nicely for her adverts. And then when you get there ready to relish, and then when you cry, she says, why are you crying? I'm not beating you as hard as I'm beating that one and this one. And pacifies you. No. It could be worse, don't worry. Try again. So, hope against hope. Material nature, nobody has ever tasted Ananda. No. What we get here is just relief from 2 points of suffering. What we call happiness. Said the platform of material life means Dukhalaya Mashashvatam. Misery all the time, danger at every step. But then when example is clear, the criminal, they tie his legs to interrogate him, they dunk him in the water head first. So he's there drowning. And just when he's about to fall unconscious, they pull him out. And he takes a deep breath. And so that deep breath is the greatest happiness for a drowning man. But what it is just relief from that suffering. So this is how material happiness is being explained. So that we don't take it too seriously. It is temporary, chapala sukha. But we are hankering for Ananda. Means at every step it is increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vadanam. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's platform. That happiness that is ever increasing. Can you imagine an ocean? How vast is an ocean? It cannot even fit in our minds to think how vast it is. Now a transcendental ocean. And this ocean is an ocean not of salt water but of blissful taste. It's like everything there is just stimulating you in greater and greater joy. And this ocean is ever increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vadanam. This is what the experience of love of God is. That is the promise of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he exhibited it with his associates. So, he says, I only have 2 hands, and there's all these fruits of love of God. I cannot distribute it by myself. I need help. Yes, Mataji. Mahaprabhu needs help. Your help too, Prabhu. He says he needs help to distribute this love of God. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur testifies about the character of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Enechi asodi maya nasibaro lagi. Harinama Maha Mantra lao tumi magi. That Lord Chaitanya has brought the medicine, asodi. What medicine? For the disease of Maya that the jivas are undergoing. What is the disease? We think that we are this material body. I mean, that's actually quite low estimation of ourselves there. Because what is this material body? Bhagavatam, just to give Jago us, describes it in very colorful language. It's a bag of bones full of pus, stew, and urine. Yes, that same one on the mirror. Mirror, mirror. Who's the fairest of them all? Stool, urine, pus. This is to help us understand that there's something better that makes up our identity. This is just the wrapping, the covering. But within this bag is the part and parcel of Krishna. And how beautiful is that spark of Krishna? How powerful it can be when it is aligned with Krishna's will. So, when we become too absorbed in the bodily concept of life, then we invest our energy in the temporary material world. Think of your life, how invested in your studies, your home, how implicated you are in debt. Tax, yeah, it's almost as sure as death. We're implicated in so many duties that in executing these duties, which we must, because also material nature has laws. If you don't fulfill them, they can put you in jail. There is the transcendental duty, which deserves more attention. Because the transcendental duty yields an eternal benefit. So, Lord Chaitanya has brought this medicine to snap us out of our sleep. And because the disease is very strong in Kali Yuga, so the medicine also is extra strong. Like Kwetsa. It's child abuse, this stony ginger beer. Give it to kids, it's like you open it, it's the vapors themselves. So anyway, they are going for a punch. So also this holy name is like a hammer to knock down all these walls of entanglement. Jiva is unaware of where he comes from, what he's done previously that has brought him to this point. He's also unaware where he'll go by his current activities. So Bhagavatam says one who doesn't know his past, doesn't know where he's going to go, then is considered to be a soul lost to himself. Lost to yourself. I mean, that's too much. Yeah, if you're lost to yourself, I mean, how do you get lost to yourself? You don't know who you are. So that's our position. We don't really know who we are because we have an eternal life, a relationship with Krishna and the liberated souls eternally. We have completely forgotten that relationship, that identity. And life after life, planet to planet, we take up duties, identities, which further alienate us from our eternal identity. Therefore, lost to ourselves. Sometimes I'm a hippo, sometimes I'm a monkey, sometimes I'm a Chatsworth Walla. When will that stop? By the hammer of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. It seeks to break down all these walls, this maze that we find ourselves in. He wants to free us from that. And so this gardener, this Malakar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is most merciful. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gore to say Namaha. Rupa Goswami has revealed, most magnanimous. He is Adbhuta Vadanya, Adbhuta Karunya. It is said if one thinks that they are very discriminating, that they have good intellect, they can investigate a subject matter deeply, then that should be applied on the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we should apply ourselves to try and understand what is this thing, mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if one tries to analyze it, one will see that it is really something adbhuta, something wonderful, something amazing. And it is very deep. It is heartfelt. Because no one will love us more than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And those who have experienced love of the Lord are able to extend that love to any and everyone without considering their external covering, their background, their situation in life. And this is our aspiration. Let us be touched by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let us understand it, take part in his mission of distributing the fruits of love of God, become qualified to spread it everywhere. When we are not sufficiently touched by this mercy, we are kripanas, miserly. We're only thinking about our own spiritual lives. Yeah, that spiritual life is so lousy. On your own, COVID conditioned. We were like split apart, and some people never came back after the restrictions were removed. So what's a Mangalati on your own? There is that Mangalati. There is no inspiration alone. I find no strength to chant the holy name. It is said like that. Therefore, Amito Kangala Krishna. I'm running after you, Krishna. Daitava Padipache. Alone, it's a hallucination. So let's band together. Let's create these alliances. Let's take strength from each other's advancement, expertise, connections. Let us weave a network across the planet of distributing. We don't have to manufacture anything. Everything is there in the books. We already know the Maha Mantra. We know Prabhupada melody if you don't know any other melody. Even if you have a voice like this, you can scream. There's a microphone. They're not going to excommunicate you, trust me. So everyone has some adhika. That adhika is be a courier. Take what's already there. Prabhupada arranged everything. Now let us be grateful enough to try and share something. And first, consider one's own situation and take in Krishna consciousness. If we are not taking it in, then forget this idea of distributing it. Yes, many men and women will come and speak on these microphones and say every town and village. And everyone, yes, every town and village, yes. Yes, it doesn't just happen like that. Some persons have to go to that town and that village, devotees. Just like some individuals came to this country, came to this Durban. And now we sit in this temple and it was full. 80s, 90s, 2000, packed. Actually packed. That's how packed it was. Yeah, now it's, light showers. Now that everything is there, then the potency is going down. Why? Why? When there were less devotees, highly inspired, charged up, went every town and village, different countries, established. Now it is established, now it's a comfort zone. Then we start to drown in our enjoyment of sweet rice. You're drowning. What would you like to drown in? In salty water or in Sweet water. Rascal, why you want to drown? Forget it, sweet. Wow, I'm drowning. But it tastes so good. You're drowning. You must not drown. So comfort zone means we're drowning in sweet rice. Our deity is so beautiful. Ours. Just ours. Just the three of us. This is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. It is a semblance of it if it is decreasing. His movement is ever increasing, dynamic like that. So let us be that dynamic element, that ecstatic principle. People are going to take what we're offering when they see that we ourselves are confused, mad, by taking this process. We're dragging our feet. We look like we'd rather be somewhere else. And then we hope people will join us. Think again. When there are no articles in the newspaper about Hare Krishna's disturbing some peace somewhere, this is not good public relations. It's a disaster. They should write every week with their drums. The people were trying to enjoy their meal at the local McDonald's, but they would not stop chanting. They should be arrested. Then this movement is alive. Nobody cares to write anything about us. They've relegated us to the obituary section of the newspaper. In Zulu bathi hlala kwabafileyo. This is a movement of life. We should take that life and we should spread that life. Srila Prabhupada, the key. Anyone with any thoughts, questions? Prasadam is already there. Prabhu. Oh, no mic. You have a mic. Maybe it's a sign. Okay.
Krishna, okay. We get told about this ever-increasing ocean of bliss, and where we do it half-hearted, or we just dip our toe into the ocean. So we may take part, but not as much as we can, or the capacity that we're able to do it. What holds us back, and what can inspire us to drown ourselves in that one, that ocean of bliss.
Pride. Pride is such that I will not accept the solution given by the Lord. I will not accept His injunction that this will solve my problem. And then because of my personal pride, I cannot see those individuals who have greater taste, and therefore I will not take shelter of them. I'll do it myself my way. So we have to look around and see who has greater taste in what department of Krishna consciousness than I do, and try to serve such devotees, build a relationship, get closer to them, and then by their strength they pull us into that taste. And if we do that, those with greater taste have their taste increasing when they see someone else interested in it. I don't know if you have that experience. You must. I particularly relish that position in a kirtan, where someone is leading and you are just right next to them, and and you're just gassing them up and just anything they chant, you reciprocate, twice as loud as you can. And when they see you becoming ecstatic, then their offering also goes up. So we have to take shelter and associate humbly with devotees who have greater taste. My experience is like that. In my own corner, we would do Harinam here and there. It's nice, Jai, Haribol. But then when I connect with other devotees who are doing it day after day, every town and village, every city, then the taste within me increases. And they are also inspired to see, we're like dry, wherever we are. Without Harinam, we're dry. And they say, when we come into the kirtan, like at Ratha Yatra, it's like a great weight is lifted. Yesterday, Balaram Prabhu, he was on stage with Dayal Chaitanya assisting him in the kirtan. And then at some point he said, Savya Prabhu, just look out for Dayal Chaitanya. I haven't danced in a while. So he went up front and his best moves came out of him. So we are dry. We're dry in the desert of mature life, even though we may be succeeding in whatever it is we're slaving away under Maya's whips doing. When we come to the kirtan, there's taste there. And when we band with devotees who have more taste, we get more taste, they get inspired, everyone gets inspired. So then we don't only put our toe. Sometimes someone is walking next to the kirtan party, they're trying to just keep it decent, Don't want to sweat and stuff and smell like some of us. End of the day, we're like, can't come close to us. Some devotee, the crazy ones, just grab them, whook, put them in the vortex, and they save this devotee's whole experience from looking like decent and, Kali Yuga gentlemen to Mahaprabhu mad, sweating, jumping, blissful. So pride may just give us some idea of who we are and make us think that our situation is not the best, but it's better than. So devotees are really important in this world. Without them, who can appreciate such things? And without them, where is kirtan? It will not be seen anyway. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath Swami ki jai.